Hello and welcome to this video featuring Mailroom by Mega Modular Corp. Mega Modular Corp is a brand new synthesizer company launched by Seatnick Synth, Tidbit Audio, Cray.Space, and myself. This is the Mega Basics line, which are the bread and butter modules, but each one kind of has its own little extra twist to it. First up, Mailroom. Let's get started. Mailroom is an 8 HP ADSR envelope generator with built-in VCA, velocity control, CV control over Attack Decay Release, manual gate button, shape control from exponential to linear to logarithmic, and a manual velocity control. We have an envelope out to send this envelope to other places. And we have the VC out, of course, with an additional CV input for external CV. And there's this handy invert switch, which opens the VCA and applies the envelope in a negative direction. And there's a little jumper on the back to go from 0 to 8 volts to 0 to 5 volts for your envelope range. But by default, it's at 8 volts. Let's keep it at that. Now, the envelope generator with the built-in VCA makes this really handy for East and West Coast patches. So let's look at those next. So here I have a classic East Coast patch patched up, or a Moog style patch, where I have 3 oscillators coming from 3 CVOs here. I have 1 saw wave, 1 triangle wave, and 1 square wave. I have the saw tuned down to be the sub. And then I have a triangle up 3 octaves from that as a nice harmonic. And then I have my bass square wave as the main frequency. So I have those 3 oscillators going into synergy, just a little 3-channel mixer here. So it kind of sounds like harmonic guitar feedback or something like that with that harmonic in there. And that crunching is from some drive and wave folding on crest. So I have these 3 oscillators going into synergy, the 3-channel mixer, and I have the regular output going into marsupial, and that output low pass going into the VCA input on Mailroom. I have a gate and volt per octave going into the CVOs from my Arturia key step just below the synth here. So I have my keyboard here. I could play whatever, but I just have a sequence coming from Ableton right now for this example. And I also have the velocity from that keyboard going into the velocity input. It's worth noting that the velocity is an offset from this knob here. So if we want true velocity from the keyboard, we turn this all the way down. But we could kind of tweak that and offset it a little bit with this velocity knob here. And we could use it for basically our filter cutoff as well, because it is sending the envelope out into the CV input on the filter, along with an LFO going into the filter. We could get nice plucky shapes. Let's make the sequence a little more staccato. We can hear the nice pluckiness of the exponential shape. So this would be more of a low pass gate sort of an effect, because it's also going to our filter, which is closed at the moment, aside from the CV affecting it. And there is no resonance in the filter right now, that's just all from the wave folder. So if I turn that down, we can hear a better example of this low pass gate. Because I have the wave folder after the filter, not before it. But the drive on it just sounds so nice. And then we have the invert. We usually get a nice reversing effect, whether it's East Coast or West Coast style, as long as it's not a nice swelling sort of sound to begin with. Let's go to linear, or a little bit logarithmic for our West Coast sound. No attack, or just a touch of attack. Now remember that as we turn the shape up, each time gets longer. So like, if we turn shape all the way exponential, turn the sustain all the way up, release all the way down, and we have basically pulse wave sequence. Actually, let's simplify the sequence. We just got some boops. So that's our release on fully exponential. Now go linear. Got longer. And it's going to go way longer when I go logarithmic. And let's see how long that rings out. I'm going to just let this ring out because the voice has some nice harmonic droning content to it. So feel free to listen to this for the next 3 minutes and 10 seconds, or just click ahead to the next section. Still going. And there it goes. So yes, a very long envelope if you go fully logarithmic, and a very short envelope if you go fully exponential. So you get a really, really wide range of scale lengths within each fader range. And with that, let's go on to the next thing. But before that, let's listen to this again through bib. And that is an East Coast patch with Mailroom, 3 CVOs, Synergy, Marsupial, Crest, and a bib. Okay, I'm going to show a couple ways to patch up a pseudo low-pass gate Buchla West Coast style patch. So right now, I just have this sequence coming from Ornament in Crime, and I have a triangle wave going into Crest here to wavefold it, and that's going into the VCA input on Mailroom. No filter needed for this version of the patch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the level all the way down on Crest to basically remove the amount of wavefolding. Let's put our gate in. And let's set our envelope. Let's go fully exponential. So we're not hearing much because this envelope's not going. So what we want to do is send the envelope out into the CV for the level or drive of that wavefolder. So now we have control over the wavefold amount from the envelope, and it gives us that nice plucky sound of a low-pass gate. This is with it driven, not wavefolded, and wavefolded. And we could play with the velocity as well. And let's patch some random velocity into the velocity input. Let's add a little effects. But these are still gates going in, not triggers, because you could hear it still cutting here. So what if we went to all triggers instead of gates? We should get pluckier sounds. Yep. Let's turn the velocity up a bit more. Let's see what that sounds like with the invert. Pretty neat. It's a great plucky sound though. Again, no filter. But now let's try a filter. So let's take our crest output, take out this CV, and put our crest output into Marsupial over here. And then let's put the low pass output from Marsupial into the VCA in on Mailroom. Turn the wavefold all the way up, and we could hear that sequence going through. Could turn the resonance up a bit. So let's take this envelope out and put it into the CV of marsupial. And we'll turn the cutoff all the way down. Or up until it starts sounding to our liking. Sounds nice. What if we CV'd both crest and marsupial? Let's mold this envelope out into the CV of crest as well. Now what if instead of CVing velocity, we CV release? Well, let's just play around for a minute. And that is a West Coast or Buchla style patch with Mailroom. One CVO, crest, and marsupial, and then bib for effects. And that's it for this video on Mailroom, the 8 HP envelope generator and VCA by Mega Modular Corp. Till next time.